Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the kitchen. I'm here today because inquiring minds want to know how to make cabbage rolls. I was out in my garden today and I pulled up a beautiful head of cabbage. So I thought, why not come on and show you how. I picked out a couple of the darker leaves just so I can show you how to cut them. I'm not going to go through the ingredient list because of time. So, first things first, you want to take a nice head of cabbage. Some of the bigger leaves you could take off by hand at first, but then the really tight leaves that are on the head, you want to blanch them in boiling water. So boil your water, pop it down there for like 2-3 minutes, take it out, plunge it in some ice cold water just to stop the cooking, and then that'll make it more pliable and easy for you to pull off the leaves. The next thing we're going to do is take a leaf and we're going to make like a V and pull out this hard stem that's in the middle because that prevents you from rolling them very nicely. So hopefully you can see. Let me get this stuff out of the way. So I'm going to make a little bit of a V. You want to try to keep on all of the green. You don't want to really cut that stuff off. You just want that hard bit gone. See, we got the hard bit and we got a little V shape in cabbage leaf. I'll do another one for you just so you can see. So we're removing this in the shape of a V. This one isn't too bad, actually. You just want to see the difference. Much smaller compared to this one. And they'll get smaller as they go. And there you have it. Another leaf tucked under, ready for rolling. So I'm going to place them aside. And I got a wonderful assistant today over getting all the cores out of my cabbage leaves for me so I don't have to keep you here too long. So next thing we're going to do is take our thawed ground beef. I'm using, it calls for 2 pounds. I'm 1.5ing this recipe. So look at the regular recipe that I'll share later for you to get the right ingredients. So I've actually got 3 pounds of regular ground beef. And to that, we are going to add 2 eggs. I'm using 1.5, remember, so I'm going to use 3 eggs. I got 3 beautiful eggs from my beautiful hens. And crack it into the bowl just to make sure you don't get any shell or anything. You see? Easy, I got shell that time. I think that's my wood being delivered. So got 1 beautiful egg in the bowl. Nice shell on that one. A second beautiful egg. Look at the color of the yolk. I'm not sure if you can see. It's gorgeous. And my 3rd egg because I'm using extra beef. You'll probably hear my dogs or something bark now. And here's the white egg. Oh, this one is fertilized. Go pork chop. That's the name of my rooster in case you didn't know. So we have our 3 eggs in here. I'm going to need onion dice. So you need 1 onion for the cabbage roll itself and 1 for the sauce. I've got a couple already chopped up here, so I'm going to put half in here and half in the sauce. And again, I got a little extra. They're from my garden as well, and they were absolutely beautiful. We are also going to need a splash of Worcestershire. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Perhaps you do. If you do, leave it in the comments. So we're just going to have a little splash of that. Maybe about like, I don't know, 2 or 3 teaspoons, sorry. I don't think you can overdo it with the Worcester. It's really, really good in there. We need 2 cloves of garlic minced, but we also need garlic for the sauce. So again, I'm only going to use half of this. we need 2 teaspoons of salt. I can hear them with the big truck. They're dropping off four cords of wood. We usually go through about 5 cord of wood during the winter, and we have electric heat as well. I like it warm. So 2 teaspoons of salt, but I'm using 3 because I'm 1.5ing the recipe. There we go with the salt. And then we need some pepper. We're going to need a teaspoon of pepper. So I'm going to use 1.5 ish. We like pepper around here. Add some spice to your life. And we're going to need half a cup of minute rice. But again, I'm going to use a little bit more than that. I'm going to use 3/4 because again, I'm 1.5ing the recipe. I just have my minute rice in the big old container for storage. So 3/4. 3/4 cup of rice, uncooked. Do not cook the rice. It's going right in there. A lot of people think you have to cook the rice, but there's enough I guess oils and moisture in the beef and in the cabbage and in sauce and everything, so you don't have to. Now, this is absolutely fine if you're a plain type person and you want to leave it plain. Hubby likes to add some spice to his life as well. I just got like some Montreal steak, which is almost gone actually. There. I'll just empty the jar in there. This is an Epicure Montreal steak spice. You can use whatever you have on hand. If you're using any, I've got some burger spice. I'll put a little bit of that in there. Probably about a teaspoon or so. And I've got some beef and steak spice. Can you tell I love my Epicure? I don't sell it, but I do know some girls that do. So I'll use maybe a teaspoon of that as well. And he likes a bit of celery salt and everything. He has it on his eggs, everything. So I'm just going to sprinkle on a little celery salt. Now, what we got to do now is just kind of combine everything together. You might want to use your hands for this. I've got a little bowl of water, so I'm just going to get right in there with what God gave me. I'm going to remove my rings and have at her. You want to mush it all together. It smells good already. You can smell the spices. You can smell the garlic. Yummy, yummy. I don't know if you guys had cabbage rolls growing up. For us, we didn't have a whole lot of cabbage rolls. It was something that we started doing after I had met my husband. I don't even know where I got this recipe from. I think I found an old recipe online many, many, many moons ago. And then I just kind of customized it to my own liking. And yeah, here we have it. So when it comes to ground beef, whether it's, hamburgers or whatever, you don't want to over mix it too much. Just want to combine it. And you can see now I have a lovely mixture that holds together well and everything else. So next thing, I'm washing my hands. Just give them a little rinse so I can get on with showing you what else to do. And then I'm going to stuff these two, put them aside, and then, hubby can do the rest. I need a bigger space. So I'm going to take my leaf with the split end facing you. And you want the bumpy side on top as well. The recipe that I'm going to share makes about 16 balls. You can take a ball, and they're, around this size. Maybe a bit smaller, maybe a bit larger, depending on, your cabbage roll itself. And we're going to make kind of like a little log, like a cylinder type shape. And we're going to place that almost in the center, but towards the end a little bit, but not quite down to your split. We're going to fold in the ends. And then what we're going to do is just kind of roll it away from yourself. But as you're going, I like to tuck these little ends in as well. It makes a nice formed cabbage roll like so. And then you're just going to set all of them aside until you got all of your cabbage rolls rolled. You can tell I'm used to making these because I'm not measuring 16 balls. I'm just going to guesstimate. And again, a real, like a log, like a little cylinder. Place it in the center above the split. Put your little splitty ends in there. And then you're going to rolling down the river. I bet you never heard that for a while. Can't believe she's gone. Anyway, keep rolling and rolling and rolling away from yourself. And again, place seam side down. And you're going to continue on with all your rolls until you got them done. And then you're going to place them into the refrigerator and you're going to make your sauce. So, next thing for the sauce. Hold on. I don't want to miss anything on you. Sauce is so in a over medium heat. Put mine about 3/4. Sometimes this little salt and burner gets really hot. We're going to place 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm just using extra virgin olive oil. This is a favorite of mine. The Kirkland brand is also very good. So just about 2 tablespoons, enough so that your onions and things don't stick on. So we got our oil in there, and now we're going to use the rest of our onions that we had before. So here they are here. In the pan goes the onions. And I might actually turn mine up a little bit just so you guys can, get out of here a little quicker. Saute the onion. And once that becomes a little bit translucent, I probably could have had this on earlier. You're going to add your garlic. And so what I'm going to do, because this is cooking in the oven for 2 hours afterwards, I'm just going to go ahead now and add the remaining ingredients. I would totally saute those onions until they were, a little bit translucent, then add the garlic and stuff. But I'm just going to go ahead and add my garlic now. So I've got another 2 cloves of garlic. Hubby loves garlic. Garlic is it's good for your immune system. It's great for your heart. It's just a little powerhouse of wonderfulness for you. And it grows very well. And I'm just using, the regular purple type garlic. This is my favorite kind as well. Get it in the grocery store. Super easy. So we're going to saute our onions and garlic, and we are going to use some salt because every time you add an ingredient, you should put a little salt, especially onions. It helps with the flavor. It helps release some of the moisture and that sort of thing. And so I'm just going to wait just a second for the garlic. I'm hoping tomorrow or the next day or the day after that to get fishing with the boys. Yesterday we were supposed to go, but the sea was terrible. And I'm just trying to stay safe. Here goes my onions and garlic now. So just get them going till they're really starting to, get going. So we're also going to add, so when you're doing the leaves, you're going to have some like little leftover bits. I like to use not the whole stem, but the darker bits. And then just some regular cabbage that is too small for rolls that you can't get in there. So you're going to need 1 cup. I've got a little extra again of chopped cabbage leaf. And I've got it cut up pretty small, as you can see. So that's going to go in there for flavor. And you can see on the bottom, I use some of the darker leaves as well. Usually I just take a dark leaf anyway. I like the darker color. Hubby's not fussy. He don't care. He'll eat pretty much everything I make. And we are now going to add. Okay, we got to saute this for 1 minute. So while that's sauteing, I'll just talk about what else we're going to use. We're going to use diced tomatoes with the juice still in. We're going to use some plain tomato sauce, some more salt and pepper, some brown sugar, a little paste if you want, and maybe some basil. You don't have to use basil. You can use some fresh oregano in there. Whatever you fancy. Just make the sauce your own if you like. You can hear that my cabbage and onions and garlic is sauteing away there. So now what I'm going to do, because you don't want to if you burn your garlic, your dish is going to be ruined. So don't burn the garlic. Well, your whole dish won't be ruined because you can just remove it and start over, but be careful. So we're going to add a can of sauce, just regular tomato sauce. It's going to be fantastic. And make sure to get all the bits out of the can. We're going to add, and I'm going to leave my second one just to make sure I have enough room in my pan, my diced tomatoes. You can use crushed tomatoes if you want, but I like to see a little chunkiness in my sauce. And my cabbage rolls are like the sauce is what make these cabbage rolls. It's amazing. And I don't mind saying so myself. We're going to add, let me see, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I'm just using this organic apple cider vinegar. With the mother is always best. Apple cider vinegar has tremendous health benefits as well. So we're going to use 2 tablespoons. I know it sounds weird, but this sauce is it just has such a tang, deliciousness. It's so, so, so good. And then I think I got enough room for my sauce. Leave some in just in case. And then we're going to add, now, 1/4 to 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And so what I like to do is start off with 1/4 cup. And then as this cooks down, I like to taste it. And then if it needs more, well, I'll add the extra 1/4 cup because it's easy to over sweeten a sauce. So 1/4 cup I'm going to start with. And you don't need to pack it down or anything. Just, I probably got a little over 1/4 cup. I'm going to throw that in there. Set aside my sugar. And then we're going to add, I like a little basil. I'm just using this Lighthouse freeze-dried basil. Again, totally not necessary. I just really like the flavor of basil. I have some growing, but I used the leaves in, what did we make? I think it was a pasta dish. Oh yeah, the fresh pasta dish the weekend. And so I'm resorted back to the freeze-dried stuff. And then I also like to add, again, optional. This is a marinara by Epicure. It just adds a little extra flavor as well. So I'll put in maybe a heaping teaspoon. And what we're going to do now is just kind of let that cook down a bit. Now, for me and for hubby, this sauce is a little runny. People like runny sauces, but we like them a little tiny, not super thick, but a little tiny bit thicker. And so I'm going to take some of this. This is my absolute favorite product. It's a Mutti tomato paste. You can get it at Dominion. I'm sure you can get it at other grocery stores. But it's from Italy and it's so good. And I'm just going to squeeze in about a tablespoon for maximum flavor. And so basically what I'm going to do now is just let the sauce cook down. I'm going to continue rolling the cabbage rolls because hubby had to go out with Buddy with the wood. And so, yeah, so what I'm going to do then is get my big dish, which is over there. So I get a big dish. I'm going to put a bit of sauce on the bottom. Then I'm going to put some cabbage rolls on top of that. Then I'm going to put more sauce on top of that. And we're going to bake it in the oven at 350 for 2 whole hours. I know it's a long time, but I promise you it's worth the wait. When I get all of this ready and cooked, I'll take some more pictures. I may be able to come back with a little video. We'll see. And I will absolutely share the recipe with you guys. I sure hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, happy cooking. And we'll see you real soon with another video. Have a beautiful day.